crafters, I'm excited to be bringing you today's tutorial, today's fun video. But before I go any further, please don't quit watching the video just because I'm about to show you how to make a Batman cape with yellow flowered fabric. I am very aware that Batman, generally speaking, is, a dark, broody character, not the kind of guy who would wear yellow flowers on his cape. However, this was the fabric I had on hand. I didn't want to put any more into this tutorial than I needed to. I'm here to tell you that this tutorial is cheap and easy, so it seems kind of hypocritical if I have to go out and spend a whole bunch of money on a cheap and easy tutorial. So that's why I'm just using some random fabric that I have here. Second of all, I will confess that I'm not exactly a Batman fan because I haven't really seen much of Batman. I haven't seen any of the new ones, but I have seen some of the episodes from way back, where it's pow, kick, punch, and then things flash across the screen. Anyways, just wanted to clear the way, get those out of the way so you can finish enjoying the rest of this video and not be distracted by those two things. But for today's tutorial, you're going to need a shirt. This shirt I got on my weekend fall haul. It was a fun video if you want to go and watch that. And then, as I said, this is just some random fabric that I had. At least it's yellow, so it kind of coordinates. So you're going to need some fabric. And the amount of fabric you need depends on how big you want to make your cape. I'm going to show you about how big I'm going to make mine, but if you're a different height or you want a different length or you want a different width or whatever, you may want a different size. So just think that through before you buy your fabric. Next, you'll want a pair of fabric scissors. Now the thing with these is I would recommend definitely using a nice pair of sharp, crisp fabric scissors because we're not going to be hemming this or doing any kind of sewing on there. So because we're not going to be doing any sort of sewing or hemming, you might want to invest in a little bottle of what's called Fray Check. It's just a little bottle that you can find at Walmart. I'll see if I can find a link on Amazon, and if so, I'll put it in the description below. But it's just a nice thin kind of liquid glue almost that you rub it along the edges of your cut fabric and it stops them from fraying, so that way you don't have to hem it. I actually don't have any. I thought I did, but I ran out, which is really sad. But because of the kind of fabric I'm using, it's this really thick stuff, so I'm going to be using nice sharp scissors, and it might get a little frayed, but I'm not going to worry about that too much because it's a pretty sturdy fabric, so it's not going to fray super badly. And then last of all, you're going to want some snap pliers and some snap buttons. I showed you guys how to use this in a couple of tutus back, so I'll also put a link up for that if you want to go watch it and get the rundown on how to use this. But this makes it so easy to do this project that you're probably already oh, I can see where she's going with that. And that's why I love this and I love this tool, because instead of having to have this really complicated, oh, I want to put a cape on a shirt, I can first of all not do any sewing, and second of all, the capes are movable. So if I wanted to wear a Batman shirt, I've still got a Batman shirt. I don't ruin it in any way. Just I'm going to put little snap clips on here and snap clips on the cape, and it's going to be super awesome, super easy. That's everything we need. So our next step is to cut out the fabric. So I've got my fabric spread out, and what's nice about this DIY is there's not really a precise exact measurement we have to get. We just want to get a basic cape shape. So it's pretty flexible in how large or small you make it. So I went ahead and I measured this on me. I want it to be about from the edge here to this seam right here, or to this crease right here. And I'm going to make it come in narrower at the top. I want it to be the whole length of this fabric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start down here at the bottom corner, and I'm going to cut in at an angle so that way I get narrower as I get closer to the top. And I'm just going to kind of roughly eyeball it. If you want to make it more precise, you can fold your fabric in half so that way you can keep your cape symmetrical. So I'm going to do that. And then one last thing I will mention is a lot of fabrics tend to have an edge where they have some information printed on it. So I would recommend that side be the top end of your fabric. In other words, that you come in narrower going this way versus coming down narrower this way, because we want that end to be at the top with the writing on it, because we're going to do a faux hem with the snap clips when it comes time. So I'm just going to start down here at this corner and start cutting it in, and I'm not going to be super exact. I'm not going to go crazy narrower, just a little bit narrower, again using nice sharp fabric scissors to make a nice crisp edge, and I'm going to cut all the way to the top of my fabric. And there you go, guys. There's your cape. Have a great life. Just kidding. So now I actually came in a little bit narrower at the top. Here's my arm for measurement. I came in a little narrower at the top than I would recommend, so just make sure you don't start off at too extreme of an angle when you start cutting. But again, this isn't a particularly precise project, so it's not going to be the end of the world if it's not quite like that. So here is the point at which, if I did have fray check, I would take the bottle of fray check and just gently run along these edges here, and that would stop them from fraying. It's kind of hard to tell on the camera, but this is fairly thick, sturdy fabric. It's not very flexible, pretty thick fabric. So fraying is not going to be too big an issue. That's why I used really sharp scissors, so that way I can have a nice crisp edge and have less worries about fraying. But if you do have the fray check, I would recommend just zipping along the sides really quick, and it'll just help your cape stay better intact. So now here's the fun part where you've got your cape cut out. You're also going to want a couple safety pins. You don't have to have the safety pins, but it helps to make it turn out just a little bit better. You may also want a helper, which I don't have currently. If I have a hard time with this, I might go get a helper. And what you want to do is you want to figure out about where you want this to sit. So when you're wearing it, where do you want it to be, about how even, and what you're basically going to do here is we're going to pin it in place before we do the snap clips so we can see exactly where we need to go to make it turn out just a little bit better. But before we start holding it up on our shoulders and pinning it in place, we're going to do that fake hem. So we're just going to take this and fold the edge over. That's literally all you have to do. We're going to keep this folded over because we'll run the snap clips through both pieces of fabric, and that'll create that nice hem there, make it look just a little more polished. So I'm going to keep it pinched like this and come back around my shoulders and hold it up. Now if I hold it like this, you can see it's kind of coming to the front more. I want it to be more, you know, along the seam of the shirt because it just looks kind of weird if the cape comes all the way here. So what I'm going to do is just tuck this corner under a little bit, get it about where I want it to be, and then safety pin it in place. Boom, one side is pinned in place. That's just going to give me a nice guideline of where I'm going to go in with my snap clip. Come to the other side. Make sure to keep that fake hem there just by folding it under, again, kind of pulling it over, make sure it's even. And then to get rid of this, I'm just going to tuck this corner under like so. Get it to look nice, and then pin it in place. And then this is the crucial part. You want to make sure that it hangs really nicely when you like move around, because if it starts to like pull the shirt back and choke you, that's not going to be pleasant when you're wearing it, so you might need to adjust it. However, I'm really happy with where I've got it pinned right now. I think it looks good from the back. From the front, hangs really well, hangs pretty evenly, and then we will snap clip it. Alright, so here's the shirt pinned up, and now it's time to get into the snap clips. So I don't actually have any black because my dad was the one who ordered the snap clips, so you know they were his technically, so you know he kind of got first dibs on the color choices. But I do have this nice dark brown. It blends in really well with the fabric, so that's what I'm going to use in the shirt. And then instead of having a dark brown on top of there, really big and obvious, I'm going to go with the lighter color because hey, with these snap clips, these snap buttons, you can make either side be whatever color you want, which is really awesome. So I'm going to look at this here and figure out about where I want my hole to be. I'm going to have a clip in here that's going to snap to a clip in here. So what I want to first do, I'm going to keep an eye on where the pin went through in the back of the shirt, but I'm going to take the pin out of the shirt and keep it just in the yellow fabric because that's still marking where it goes on the yellow fabric. Now I want to look here where my pin went in, and right here is where I want to put my first snap clip. So if you haven't seen my video on how to do the snap clips, click a link right up there and you can learn all the ins and outs of using this tool. I'm going to assume you've already watched it and just get right into it. So if you get confused at any point, go back and watch that video and it will make a lot more sense to you. Now for the shirt, I'm going to be using a socket because that's not going to stick out as much as a stud will. So a socket because then I can wear it in the shirt and it won't be as obvious as if I had a socket there. Also got my cap here, and just like normal when we use the snap clip tool, I'm going to come through the fabric and poke a hole. So my pin was right there, so poke a hole right about here. Please just be careful when you poke through, don't hurt yourself. I said I want the cap to come from the inside. Speed it on there. It's really hard to see with this black right now. And then I'm going to put the other side on the outside, the socket. Take my Kam Snap Pliers. Big bulk of fabric here, but that's okay. It fits right in here. Line it up and squeeze. And boom, now the first side of the button, first side of the join is on. So now I'm going to do a corresponding piece in the shirt. So I'm going to just double check, make sure that I'm still keeping things lined up pretty well. Spread the shirt out so you can see, got our button right here. So I want to make sure that I do it right about through there. So I'm just going to actually leave the pin in there for now because that'll actually kind of help me so I don't, so it stays lined up. And I'm going to poke a hole through here, running through all those layers of the fabric. Because I used a socket on the shirt, I'm going to use a stud on the cape. So pull this out. Remember, the cap is going to go on this outside here. Run it through all the layers of fabric on there and put this on here. Now I will take the pin out before I snap this on, just so that way the pin doesn't impact how well the snap clip goes on. Load it into the snap cam pliers and squeeze. Nice and strong. And bam, that's going to hold that fabric, that nice seam there. Going to hold all that fabric tucked inside, and we're just going to test to make sure this is a good connection. And it snaps together really nicely. So that is our first side. Also, what's cool is because it just goes through a hole, I can kind of adjust this side here to make this line up with the seam more or less as much as I need to, even though I've already ran the snap clip through there. And I'm just going to repeat the process on the other side. Gotham needs me. I must go. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, but no, seriously, I think it turned out pretty cool. Couple of tips now that I've got this done. First off, if you need to put another snap clip in the middle, if you want to help you hold it on a little bit better, then by all means, go ahead and put another one in the middle, just if it's, weighing down on you weirdly or anything, you can always do that. Another thing is you can also make your cape wider. I was just kind of going for a rough, sleek, just kind of regal cape that I wouldn't mind wearing with the t-shirt if I ever need to be Batman with a yellow flowered cape for anything. And last of all, you can also add in more details on your cape. Do like the whoop whoop kind of shape like Batman's. So you can also add in details like that. You can also use this for like any other superhero, any other costume that needs a cape or anything of the sort. Super easy. It took no sewing, hardly any time. I think it only took as long as it did just because I was trying to show you guys. So, I could have got this done in like 5 minutes. So it's really not bad for a costume idea. It's also great because if you're on a budget, or if you're going to say like school, or you're like a teacher at a school and you don't want to go like full costume, you can really easily upgrade a t-shirt. Everyone will think it's cool. And last but not least, the greatest benefit of this is you don't have to have the danger of capes that Edna Mode warned us about in The Incredibles. We've lost so many superheroes because of their capes, and it just really, it really makes me emotional. And so part of this was I just felt the need to save the lives of more superheroes. So for all you superheroes out there, I hope this helps, because now if your cape gets caught anywhere, you can just unsnap it and be free, and your cape won't kill you, and we won't have to be sad. Okay, anyways, I hope this video helps you. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. I would also appreciate any comments. Tell me what character you're going to be that needs a cape. Subscribe if you haven't already for more awesome videos from Crafters Autonomous. But I've got to get back to saving the world, one craft project at a time. So until I see you next time, happy crafting. Hello, my dear crafters. I have one last quick word. So integrity is important to me, so when I put a video out on my channel, I want it to be quality content, I want it to be helpful, and I don't want what just happened to me while I was filming to happen to you. So, while I was filming, I did the part where I was like taking the cape off. I didn't take my cape off very well, and I just like pulled back here on the fabric, and I just pulled up, and next thing I noticed, there was this side on, and that side was actually on the underside of my shirt, and yeah, I just tore through the shirt. So when you take your cape off, please grab here and here, pop it off nice and gently so that way you don't tear through your shirt. Now I am gonna have to go do sewing. I'm gonna have to sew a piece of fabric there to patch that, and then redo the snap clip. So anyways, because integrity is important to me and I want my videos to be helpful and not ruin all your t-shirts, just be careful when you unsnap them. These snap clips are pretty strong. They're very high quality. Grab here. Don't grab here and here and yank, because it's not going to end well. So I hope that helps you guys. I'm really sorry that I tore my shirt, but lesson learned, and now you guys don't have to learn it the hard way like I did. So I'm gonna go do some repairs on this shirt, and then I will get back to saving Gotham and saving my crafting people one tutorial at a time. So on that note, I'm going to say goodbye.